All right, it is 12:02 the morning after Game 5. Oh, baby. Tom Gazzola, what's up, buddy?
Hey, welcome back.
Hey, yeah, thanks for having me back.
I wasn't sure if I would.
Yeah, I checked with all you guys.
Yeah,
Here, you
thanks
okay
for
if I come
doing
back
that.
to work?
Maybe.
Yeah, just go
We need to have
remote
a
all the
meeting.
time.
No, great to have you back.
Yeah, no, it's a fun series and a short series, but Moose Jaw's very good.
They were excellent. Talking to Rogan Dean from the Oil Kings yesterday, met up with him. Happy birthday, Rogues. Had his birthday this week. I was like, give me your assessment. Were you watching? He gave you props, said it was a great call.
Wow, thanks, man.
Yeah, that's the guy that wants to get on the Hangout, obviously.
Well, why hasn't he been on the Hangout
We're
yet?
going to get him on,
Yeah.
definitely.
Anybody can get on the Hangout. My
His
goodness.
schedule is opening up. So Rogues was saying that Portland's travel, and they're banged up, but he said Portland's travel throughout the postseason was excruciatingly tough. As good as they are, he said they were nicked up, and their travel for the playoffs was really hard, whereas Moose Jaw had it a bit easier.
They had Victoria.
Ferry, pain in the ass. PG was hard.
PG was tough, but they had Everett.
Yeah, but when
Everett's
you
not
compare
that
it
far.
to Saskatoon Moose Jaw, 2 hours back and forth.
Yeah, and then
Moose Jaw-
Swift.
Swift,
Right
that's
there.
a quick hop or quick drive.
Yeah. And who else do they play? Brandon.
Yeah.
So they had to go to Brandon.
That's
But
not
that was
an
one
easy
round,
one,
yeah.
but yeah.
I thought it was simple. Moose Jaw has a bunch of future NHLers. Portland has one.
Yeah.
Like Danielson will play next year, I think, in Detroit.
It sounded like you were saying his name basically the entire game.
He was all over it. Like he was a man on an island. The guy that the Oilers signed, Stefan.
Yeah, Patrick Stefan's son.
Like as far as expectations I had for guys, he was probably the one that came farthest away from fulfilling. Like he was a 50-goal, 100-point guy.
Yeah.
And he had one assist in the series and literally did nothing.
Yeah.
So they should sign that Atlee Calvert who plays on Moose Jaw. Just like he's like a junior hockey Zach Hyman clone. Like, and it's interesting. I don't think we told this story, but you should see his knob. I'm talking.
Clip it.
Oh, come on. No, you guys. I mean, come on. We're adults here.
Exactly.
It's like this thick at the top of his stick. It's unbelievable. Like, I'm not kidding. It's
Clip it.
It's like
Trav, get on that. Or Zach.
I'm not kidding. It's at the top of his stick. I don't even know how he gets his whole glove around it, man. It's nuts. And his coach has the same one. So that's why he saw the top of the coach's stick.
What are you doing with your
And
hand
then-
right now?
Not doing
about this
nothing.
guy's
I'm not.
huge knob?
I know you're trying to make a playoff. Did you see Ricky Stanicki?
I have seen Ricky Steele.
I'm not doing the air thing. That's not what's happening here. But anyway, I've never seen a knob like that. It was nuts. Plus, he's a great player. He's a great player as well.
Gold, Jerry.
So
thank you.
Anyway,
It's great to have you.
But I like very. I don't know if I took a pic. I can't even say that. Anyway,
Did he send you one?
He uses a lot of tape at the top of his stick.
There
I
we
guess
go.
is what I'm saying.
That's better.
But like I'm probably talking like 2 rolls on the top of his stick.
That's weird. But Mark Stone does that with the end of his stick, not the blade half or portion.
The end of what do you mean? The end of his stick?
The hockey stick knob that Mark
the top of
Stone uses
Yeah,
at
that's
the
okay.
top of
Yeah,
his
can
stick
I say that?
is absurdly
idea.
big.
The
I don't know what you're talking
the
about.
hockey stick. Now does it? Is Mark Stone's hockey stick knob thick all the way up, or is it just at the end he makes it huge?
It's progressive.
Yeah, okay, that's like this one.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's crazy to me. I was like, I walked by. I was like, who the hell is this all of a sudden? What is this? What is this? What is this knob? It was wild. Anyway, congratulations to the Moose Jaw Warriors and a great series, a fun series.
Great work
to
on the
break
series.
down. All right, let's get into the Oilers. And look, if you're watching over on YouTube today, hammer the thumbs up for us. If you're listening on TuneIn, iHeart, or EdmontonSportsTalk.com, why don't you just send the link to Edmonton Sports Talk? Text it to all of your friends. That'd be cool. That's an easy way to kind of push out EST. I was in on Postgame show for a good chunk of it last night, Tommy. How'd that go for you?
I enjoyed it.
Yeah?
I thought that it was one of those shows that it's an important one in the season because the angst and the concern really ratchets up because now it's do or die. And how it went down, the late goal sinking the team, Vancouver returning the favor on home ice, the way Edmonton sunk Vancouver in Game 4. That one's a show that you can't really mess around with, and you got to be very thorough. And I think Cass and I and Trev handled it pretty good, and we're used to this now. I mean, Cass and I have
you guys,
it
was a great show.
Years.
Yeah, it was a great show.
It was entertaining. The texts were pretty good. There were ridiculous takes, and we've, I think, done a good job of filtering those out. Nasty chat, like the people that were being serious about their conversations, those were good from what I saw. You get the dum-dums in.
If you want to come in and troll Canuck-wise about the games, do that. But then a lot of people just act like idiots.
Yeah, and we started moderating it, which we're going to have to do obviously for tomorrow. We've had to do a bit today, and that's fine. But at the end of the day, the show, it felt good. I think we hit on a bunch of important things, and it was a good show, and people are still watching it, and I'm sure they're going back to the audio podcast version of it and listening back to it. I think we really did have a good show with some good things that we hit on. So I felt good about
of topics, buddy.
Lots to talk about, and we're going to continue that conversation obviously today. But Cass was excellent in his breakdown. I know system stuff. Al has been texting us numbers and averages and stuff like that. We've gotten into it with Al a few times, Cass specifically, and that's like, I'm not going to go into the numbers too deeply right now, but I understand where Al's coming from, and he does make some good points. We have a lot of questions to answer today. And we'll
definitely get into this. And if you are listening right now, you can text us at 780-218-9999.
But overall, Dusty, to your question, last night was fun. Those are the shows I enjoy doing. When the team wins and people are in a great mood, I love those too, because you ride that emotion and it feeds the listeners and the viewers now. But losses that are significant, the way it went down yesterday, are just as important, if not more important, and I really enjoy those shows.
Lar is over in the nasty chat, where if you're watching on YouTube, hammer the thumbs up for us today. And if you're not yet subbed to our channel, please do, as we push up towards 8,500. Lars says, is it just me, or does Tommy look very much big in that chair?
I think
looks bigger than Dusty. It is kind of weird.
It is.
Like, is the desk turned, or is... No, I don't think it's that, Tommy. I think, like, the desk is, like, you're, like, closer to the camera maybe than me.
I don't know. Hang on. Eric has this one up. There, I lowered it a bit.
I don't know. It's you just look like a huge human there.
I'm not. I'm very average.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks for that. 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. The Oil Stream is presented to you today and every single day we do the Oil Stream by Boston Pizza. Fuel your fandom at Boston Pizza. They've got the half square footer. They've got the flight of wings. What did you have last week when you were there? Or this week?
FBP?
That was Wednesday. That was
square
Wednesday.
Footer. I had the buffalo chicken square footer. Gager had the pepperoni bacon square footer.
So you guys both went square footer. You didn't split one. You went
we,
square footers on your own.
Yeah, but we exchanged slices.
Yeah.
And then Gager's like, Megan and his daughter are away for dance for a few days, so it's just him and his boy. So and he's like, I'm going to have to take some back for the boy. And then Gager told us yesterday after the shows, he goes, so I wasn't sure if we were going to have pizza. I told my boy, like, I brought this pizza from BP, but what do you want to do? And he's like, I don't know about pizza. So Gager went and got some steak, and they had steak for dinner. And then Gager wanted a snack. He was a little peckish at night. He went to the fridge to go to the pizza. Devoured by his boy.
No!
Destroyed. He's a big boy.
Well, he's a growing boy. Apparently, he's pretty jacked.
Yeah.
So he made Gager make him a steak. And then he ate the pizza after they ate the steaks?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That is greasy.
Yeah.
That is greasy.
I know.
With that being said, who do they think they are? Like John C. Reilly and his dad in Step Brothers when they're like, we're men. You know? You remember that one? Yeah. He's just like, we take craps with the door open. The dad's like, we literally have never done any of those things. Like, that movie, man.
What did he say? What if I'm coming out after a shower
and all the way down to my ball throw?
Yeah.
He's just like,
you could have the young bull, or you could have the old bull, or the young stud.
The young stud, the young buck.
The young buck,
the young buck. Man, so good. So good. Boston Pizza Playoff menu is now available, featuring the halftime square footer, flight of wings, triple play platter, also out there as well, and the new Chipotle chicken quesadillas. Fuel your fandom at Boston Pizza.
I put our first Canuck fan in timeout.
Already?
Yeah.
What happened? We just got started. We literally haven't even talked about the game yet.
I know, but Jonathan, add to the conversation. Don't just make a statement and put a question mark at the end of it. And I saw you earlier that you earned the timeout.
Calvin C. says, petition for BPs to bring back the ham and chicken stromboli sandwich. Listen, if they have a veteran cook there, if you request it, they might still make it for you. Yeah. I've been there myself, my man. You'll be all right. All right. Where do we start, Tommy? Where do we start coming out of this game?
We could anywhere.
Okay. Well,
then the leads being blown, or
well, I mean that's happened a few times.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's start, and we'll get to the conversations about tomorrow night, and what happens with the lineup and stuff like that. Does Knoblauch already spoke today?
He has, because they were flying out and they didn't avail at the hotel.
Hey, Zach, come grab Knoblauch. We'll play it at some point.
Grab Knob?
Yeah. Well, no, enough with the knob joke.
All right.
Tommy, grow up.
Okay.
My God. Would you have some two hoots over there during
I had one.
Yeah. Well, how can you not have one?
That's very good.
That's got to be the best. Yeah, grab Knoblauch. We'll play him at some point. I mean, Zacticum's making knob jokes. You guys, let's grow up around here. Holy smokes. I come back here, and now I'm the only adult around here?
No.
What's happening? That's like the most bizarre world of all time.
He's going to go have chicken nugs and some mac and cheese after, too. I'm just kidding.
Who, me?
Yeah.
I'd love to.
Me, too.
Yeah, that'd be great. Look, I think we have to start with the fact that we're coming in here talking about a playoff game in which the Edmonton Oilers lost. They got a goal from their fourth line. Their goaltender was probably the best player on the ice, and they lost the game because their big boys didn't show up.
Yeah.
That's
and they got
that's a plot twist.
Atrocious turnover from their best defenseman.
Well, I mean, I include Bouchard in the big boys.
Big boys,
those are the big boys. It was McDavid. You tell me if this is unfair, but I think as much of a no-show that McDavid can be in 23 minutes, he was that last night.
Yep, that's fair.
I honestly say he had two shots on goal, and both of them were weak attempts. The one was the backhand that just Sheilov just had to put a foot on, and the other one was that one-timer that went along the ice, and Sheilov sort of just kicked it out. There really wasn't a dangerous threat from McDavid in that game last night.
No, the same with Draisaitl. Hyman hasn't been able to do his thing either, and I've talked about talked about it pre and post game last night. I talked about it a bit on the hangout. There is credit to be given to the Canucks, a lot of it for the way they've defended the Oilers, because we haven't seen the Oilers penetrate the middle of the ice in the Canucks zone and really get those grade A chances from there and muck a rebound goal, garbage goal, any of that. That hasn't really happened. That's Zach Hyman's MO. I think 40 of his 50 some odd goals were from just right around the blue paint. They haven't been able to get there. They haven't been able to get those opportunities on Sheilovs when he kicks out a juicy rebound. And that's a credit to the Canucks defense first. Big guys, they tangle and they get your stick tied up, and they're big bodies, and they push you away from the middle. Credit to them, and they deserve that. And then the way the Canucks forwards also defended in their zone was a huge testament to the overall game that Vancouver had. But if you're Edmonton and you have two of the most dynamic offensive players in the NHL, complemented by some very strong offensive players, you need more, and they didn't get more last night. And that's a big chunk of it, obviously, on Edmonton not finding a solution. But some credit, a good chunk of credit, too, goes to Vancouver and the way it defended its own zone.
All right, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. Ian is in and says, guys, I had the triple play and the Boston Brute for my birthday dinner last night.
Nice.
Yum. Yes, Ian, that's what I'm talking about, man. Thanks for the support of one of our supporters. Speaking of that, Duck Dad says, indeed, it's going to be getting some birdie booze today to ensure I keep Nasty Society pure. Good. Yes.
I love it.
Get that. Pick up some birdie booze for the weekend, man. That's a real nice idea. For a long weekend, go. Sobeys and Safeway Liquor should be available at all locations. I heard it's doing well. But go pick it up, give it a try, and before I get there, because I'm going in to load up. I got a golf trip in a couple weeks, and I'm going in to load up.
Alley Cat, I saw, is doing $10 growler fill-ups this weekend.
Oh, they are?
Yeah, so if they're...
At Alley Cat?
At Alley Cat. And if they have 6 o'clocker on tap...
Not a bad idea.
I'm going to go over there and fill up my growler.
Not a bad... Oh, you were a growler guy. Hey?
I've got one.
Oh, wow, cool.
I like it. Like, I like the draft version. Can version's great. Had a couple last night for the postgame. But on tap, growler, you got to get to pretty quickly. Like, it won't last very long.
What was Bouchard thinking?
That was a total brain fart. You can't cut to the middle from behind the net when you've got two guys pressuring you. And we know that the Canucks have been dogged on the forecheck. They've been consistent in that all season long. They're aggressive. They're feeling good last night about their game. That was a brutal mistake. That's one... I think Cass said off the glass and out, the old Jason Strudwick special. It's okay to punt on that one.
Just ring it around the board.
Get it out.
Yeah.
Because you have two guys coming at you.
There's no way he couldn't have seen that pressure.
His puck handling ability, his confidence when he's got it. We've seen him beat guys with quick moves, especially in the offensive zone. Maybe in that moment was too confident in his ability to make a play happen, and that was the wrong choice. And awful. I'm not to say that Vancouver wouldn't have tied it anyway because they had all the momentum in the second period.
The Oilers were very lucky for that game to be tied at the point that it was tied in at the end of the hockey game.
Absolutely.
Like the Canucks should have won that game earlier. But like this is one of the ways you look at it. Like today, and I saw in the post game, I saw in the inbox last night, saw it again this morning on the Nielson show. Like people are just like, this series is over. It's done.
It's not.
And it's not. I mean, it's been going back and forth. This roller coaster has been happening the entire series. I mean, after game one, people are freak out. After game two, okay, it's okay. So I mean, even if just the trend continues. You get a better game from the Oilers in Game 6. They win it. You go on the road and see what happens in Game 7. And you never know what could happen in Game 7. But they have to be a lot better. Like, I don't think... We'll get to the... Well, let's continue here. Power play. Let's just go power play. Not only did they go over, Tommy, they only had 3 shots.
I know.
On, like, whatever you want to call 4.5 power plays because the one was kind of split up a little bit. What was... Like, I don't want to take anything away from the Canucks because I did think they were pretty aggressive in the situations.
They were.
But the Oilers have to shoot the bloody puck on the power play.
Simplify,
like,
get
what
to
are
the
you
middle,
doing?
stuff that they haven't done all series. Vancouver seemed to have a good read on some of the new wrinkles that the Oilers have incorporated into their power plays in this postseason. A testament to Vancouver studying the tape and reacting and picking up trends. Excellent. That's a check mark beside Vancouver on PK last night. However, Edmonton should have adapted better, and I think you look at the big guns, and you talked about it right off the hop, like they weren't good enough last night, and the power play was a shining example of that. Stagnant, not crisp, poor decision-making, all of the things that usually do not hamper Edmonton's power play. A rare occurrence. I think it'll be better tomorrow night. Simplification might help. If reading what Vancouver's doing, if they're taking away your time and space, then maybe you find an opening in and around the net. Maybe that's where penetrating the middle could open up and you could score a greasy goal, but they didn't do that last night. Taking penalties, as soft as the calls were both ways, the reffing
what a mess.
Bad.
Yeah,
both ways. Let's make sure of that. Yes, both teams complain about the refs. Yes, both fan bases complain about the refs. Yes, the media complains about the refs because the reffing sucks.
It does.
It sucks.
It just sucks.
In every series.
I had somebody text in today and says, guys, I just cannot handle the Vancouver Canucks and their fans bringing everything back around to officiating. And I replied to the guy, I said, just so you know, I'm seeing it on the other side too.
Yep.
Like both fan bases are absolutely furious with the officials.
As they should be. And in other series, these fan bases are all frustrated with the officials because the reffing in the NHL is not good. They're spooked. They have been for years. The linesmen are overdoing it on face-offs, which drives me absolutely bonkers. The officiating is inconsistent, or I should say it's consistently bad. Sorry, refs, you suck. You just do. You're bad.
They do. I mean, it's just look, when it gets to playoff hockey, it just doesn't look like the officials can keep up with the game. Like,
keep up or get caught in the moment. I understand how hard it is, and there's a lot of pressure to not be a focal point, and I think that ends up tripping up the officials.
780-218-9999, $99.99 is the oil stream presented by Boston Pizza. Did you grab Knoblauch, Zach?
Yeah, I have Knoblauch and Draisaitl.
All right, well, maybe we'll get to Knoblauch in a second. A couple other things I want to get to. We were asked today on 3 Questions Too Many, Tommy. What is the number one reason the Edmonton Oilers are down 3-2 in this series? I said the Canucks just look more aggressive.
Yeah, they are.
Like they're just getting after it more. They seem hungrier. Outside of that, I don't necessarily know if there's a lot that's really separating these two teams. There's been some really close hockey games. So,
And tomorrow will probably be the same.
like the third period last night, Vancouver gets in on the forecheck, and they keep skating until they get there. So many times last night, I said this morning, like Fogle has not had a good playoff, but he skates until he gets to where he needs to go. And a lot of these other guys are like getting in there, and then Vancouver grabs the puck and moves it this way, and they just sort of swoop around. And I'm just like, man, what are you doing? Like, get after it here. Shoot the puck, hit somebody. Shoot the puck, hit somebody. It's not a difficult recipe. They didn't do either of them last night.
Vancouver has been consistent in that from the outset. And yes, Vancouver has been fortunate. They get lucky bounces. The bounce off of Pettersson hits the post, and there's Miller to bang it home. They create their luck, and they work for it. And that's something that Edmonton has not adapted to perfectly well, and it's cost them in this series. If you're pointing just to goaltending, I'd say hang on. Yes, Skinner was bad in the 3 games that he started, but the team defense hasn't been consistent. The decision making has led directly to goals. Fogle, turnover in his own zone, directly led to goal. Yesterday it was Bouchard. We've seen a bunch of that. That's not good enough. And so the lapses in Edmonton's game overall throughout these 5 that we've watched have been more than what we've seen from Vancouver, because Vancouver generally has kept it tight and consistent, and that has led them to eking out a 3-2 series lead. Kudos to them.
If you are watching over on YouTube, hammer the thumbs up for us. If you're listening on TuneIn, iHeart, or at EdmontonSportsTalk.com, please tell your friends about EST live content every single day from 6 in the morning until 1 o'clock in the afternoon. RCN sends this in. It's from Adjusted Hockey. Last night, the Canucks limited Oilers' Connor McDavid to a 16.5% expected goals for share at 5-on-5. That is his lowest total in 390 games. You have to go back pre-COVID to find the last time McDavid had a goal share, expected goal share, that low in a hockey game. Is this just a straight up JT Miller show? Like, is that what this is, or was there more there? Now, somebody also said today, Dusty, I think the entire team is sick. Tommy, are they sick?
Yes, there is an illness going around both locker rooms.
Both locker rooms.
Yeah, so it's not just Edmonton that's sick. It's also Vancouver. Edmonton's sick, banged up. Vancouver's sick, banged up. Overcome it. Vancouver has better so far. Edmonton needs to rise up to the challenge tomorrow.
What do you think about the McDavid thing, though? Like,
good on JT Miller again. The guy, like we said, going into the series was going to be a beast and has lived up to that hype and praise. B, Connor McDavid didn't have answers last night. That's fine. He was rattled. I think he bounces back strong and finds a way through it and adapts his game. Yeah, like I think that's what they do. You adjust, you learn from what Vancouver did to contain you, and then you don't have, what was it, a 16.5%?
16.5% expected goals for. Yeah. 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. Get to a few more of those text messages as we work our way through the show. Let's get to this one. Cal in the Park says, guys, good afternoon. Oilers look slow and tired. Need to inject Carrick and Gagne in to add some fresh legs and sandpaper. Miller set the tone off the opening draw by winning and cross-checking McDavid to no response. Pickard starts. Need to shoot the puck from everywhere. What say you? We're gonna get to our thoughts on changes or adjustments or whatever coming up here. We'll probably hear from Knoblauch first, and then we'll get into that. We're kind of still sort of breaking down last night's game as well. And, the officiating, like, it does suck. When both sides are looking at going, this sucks, it sucks. Like, I know they were on the power play at the time, but the hit into Draisaitl's back in the corner, like, that's a penalty.
Yeah.
That's a penalty. Like, call the bloody penalty. It's off the rails. Like, the officiating has gone off the rails. I think I saw Ray Ferraro last night being like, this is the most poorly officiated hockey game that I've seen in quite some time.
Correct.
And it wasn't even like lopsided. It was just overall shitty.
Yeah.
Like that's what the officiating was last night.
Yes.
And has not been good in the series,
No.
basically at any single
No
time.
series.
So, yeah.
There's one game this series where you're like, okay, we can't really complain about them, but every other, the stuff about, was it Kelly Sutherland and Canucks fans having a hate on for him, very much similar to Edmonton's hate for Steve Kazari. I did not know that Vancouver hated Kelly Sutherland that much. Interesting, noted. I'll keep tabs on that.
Yes. I saw that. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
so
interesting
it's kind of neat and funny and all at the same time. We've seen the worst of both fan bases. We've seen some good things from both fan bases, as was expected. But yeah, the officiating, you summed it up poopy.
Danny T says, Tommy, do you think Henrique is a good shot to play tomorrow?
I don't.
Ugh, boy.
Yeah, I don't.
Man, did that backfire then, eh? Like, just from an injury perspective.
But
What
who
are
knew he would have-
you supposed to do?
Who
it's
knew
just
he would hurt his ankle?
very unfortunate.
Yeah.
Like, it's just that right there is just very unfortunate.
That sucks. If you're an Oiler
Brought
fan.
him in for the playoffs
Yeah.
as an injury.
Added
Can't play,
depth.
like,
Put guys more where they should slot in better.
yeah, that's a tough one. All right, let's hear what Chris Knoblauch had to say today after his team faces elimination for the first time in these playoffs.
You know, puncher's chance in both games. Where are you at with what you're thinking of in terms of Game 6 from a goaltending?
After each game, we've always wanted to sit on it and not make any rash decisions. And Pix has been great in the 2 games he's played in. Gave us an opportunity to win both those games. And, our staff will, we've slept on it, and we'll get together today, and then we'll make that decision and decide who's going to play tomorrow.
Rick Tocchet was pretty pointed with his comments after the loss and certainly indicated that there might be a change or two. They seem to have an energy advantage on you. Are you looking at the potential of changing the complexion or the makeup of your lineup a bit?
Yeah, I think we'll definitely look at that and add fresh legs if that's something we feel that will help our team. And I think there's adjustments in whether those are the lines, fresh body or 2 coming in. Again, those are things we'll assess and make that decision tomorrow.
Talking about Calvin having played great the last couple of games and giving you a chance. With that said, reasons for not going to him is the idea of starting 3 in a row for him and not necessarily something he's had a lot of here. Would that be something that is strongly considered?
Well, that was probably his first time he started back-to-back games in probably 8 years. He probably hadn't started back-to-back since he was with Colorado, and he handled it very well and played extremely well. I thought he made some big saves and gave us, as I said, a chance to win. Handling it, it's not like it's back-to-back days. There is a rest in between, so there is a possibility of him being able to handle it. And we'll just evaluate and see what's our best decision on tomorrow.
Chris, you have a long history with Connor McDavid, less so with Leon Draisaitl, but in your experience with the 2 of them, what kind of gives them this ability to step up when the game rises most?
Well, first of all, they're tremendous athletes, terrific hockey players, great IQ. They're good hockey players. What separates them and what really they're able to raise their game is their competitiveness. They want to be the best and they want to win. And you see that a lot of good hockey players not be able to perform when the pressure's higher. The game's tighter and there's not enough or as much room for those offensive players. But they've always, not just this season, but their experience, their years in the past in the NHL playoffs, says they've always performed well. And that's quite remarkable.
You said you've got 3 games here. You got no points from Hyman, just 1 assist from McDavid in 3 of these games. Like, why do you think they haven't been able to generate at their regular rate?
You look at streaks. You look at through the regular season. Connor's not scoring at a 2 or 3 or 4 points a night pace. There are stretches where they come down, and a lot of that has to do with luck. A lot of that has to do with the other opposition just not giving them enough space. There's a lot of factors, but just to say that he's not playing well, I think would be far-fetched. As a team, we got to play better and building shifts. So that shift before helps out the next line, and so we don't have to spend as much time in the defensive zone like we did the other night.
I know it's a long time ago, but is there anything from that 2015 run with McDavid kind of stepping up or doing something kind of otherworldly that is applicable to the situation or can be in these next couple games?
No, I don't think anything. I remember that it was pretty remarkable what he did in the playoffs and played against a very good team. But that's junior hockey, and a lot has changed. And I don't think there's much. It's just
All right, there we go. That is Chris Knoblauch. That's not all of Knoblauch from today, but we wanted to give you a chunk of it. Obviously, talks a little bit about some of the decisions that they're going to have to make, some people that you want in and out of the lineup. If you are watching right now on YouTube or you are listening on TuneIn or iHeart, of course, please contribute to the show over in the Nasty Chat or fire us a text at 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. Got a bunch of text messages that we will get to as well. As always, portions of the Oil Stream brought to you by Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen. If you've not yet tried out Popeyes, they've been around the city for quite some time. Hopefully you already have, but if you've not yet tried out their new crispy chicken buffalo wrap, that bad boy is available. 2 classic hand-battered and breaded mild chicken tenders with the bold buffalo sauce paired with fresh lettuce, tomato, mild or spicy mayo, wrapped in a soft flour tortilla. Available in-store or via delivery, which is super convenient. What have you thought about Knoblauch so far in this series?
This is the first time this season where his decisions, I think, deserve a lot of questioning.
Okay, well, let's question them. Which ones?
First, we'll start with right out of the gate. It was Janmark on the top line. That was a bad choice.
In game 1, you're right.
Sticking with Draisaitl and McDavid together on the same line too long, playing them close to 30 minutes per game, probably not the best decision. Not incorporating other guys into the game earlier, part of the Draisaitl McDavid thing for sure. Maybe getting away from Stuart Skinner a little bit earlier. I don't know how much that would have changed the outcomes of those games.
Yeah.
Maybe there's some momentum swings where you could have used a timeout, perhaps. And we've actually seen this is the first series or time in these games where you've actually seen Knoblauch kind of look like he's getting worked up. And you see the body language a little bit different, like he's a little bit more uncomfortable. Usually he's composed, calm, cool, collected. And there's been a few moments where you're like, that's not the usual Knoblauch. And I think he's feeling the burn and feeling the heat of what's going on. So I think those are a few things. And there's people going into it saying that Tocchet is outclassing him, this and that. It's been a 1-goal game every game in this series. The margins are incredibly tight. But I would say that there are things that Knoblauch has done that are questionable, and the first time this year where that's really come to the forefront. Maybe there's been instances early in the season, sure, but now is where it's really amplified.
He's got another big decision to make, obviously.
Yeah.
Well, maybe some smaller tweaks as well. What do you think he should do if you were in charge? If you're listening right now, if you were in Knoblauch's shoes, what would you do heading into Game 6? Do you think there's no way they just put McDavid and Draisaitl back together and try to have
those
them
two are going
through?
to play together a bunch tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's you're emptying the tank just to get to Game 7.
Yeah.
You doing everything, pulling out all the stops. Now, should they be on the same line starting out at the gates? No. Will they be? I don't think so. But this is one where Knoblauch's going to have to be tap dancing on the fly, and he better be into a groove quickly because the bench management's going to be a huge factor tomorrow night.
One of the things, and this kind of ties in, Pat says, guys, have the Oilers really played a full 60 minutes in these playoffs yet?
Yep.
And is Artur Shilovs becoming the Aiden Hill of the playoffs this go-around? I will say this, though. When they finished beating the Kings, I said that they'll have to find another gear to get by the Canucks, and they haven't. I just don't think they're there yet. I don't think they've elevated their game much from the Kings series to the Canucks series yet. Mm-hmm. And if they don't, they're not coming back. If they continue to play the way that they played so far, they're not coming back, I don't think. There has to be a full game in there somewhere.
You can make the case that they're a bounce or two away from winning that game last night, despite how much they got outplayed in the second and third periods.
But they didn't really deserve that one last night, right?
Sometimes that happens.
They lost a game they deserved to lose last night.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I'd like to see another gear. Do I think that they're capable of it? Yes. With the way they're playing right now, do I think they're going to hit it? No. So
Yeah.
they're going to have to find a way to muck it out with what they've got right now. Because, like, if you looked at the Canucks, I'll just put it out there. If you look at the Canucks, how they're playing against the Oilers, is that another gear above what they were doing to Nashville? Because the way they beat Nashville was very similar. Clawing their way back.
Yeah,
Scoring
I mean, that's
late
yeah,
goals.
that's a fair point.
Clutch moments from big players. The way it worked out in Series 1 or first round against Nashville for the Canucks is kind of how it's playing out in the wins for Vancouver in this series, right?
Do you think the Oilers have it in them to play a more physical game? Because let's
Yeah.
say, I mean, the Canucks have won that aspect of this game.
They did
series
it
so
in Game
far.
4.
Yeah,
They were better physically.
Yeah, well, then what the hell happened in Game 5? Like, how do you just
I think it's mental,
avoid the game? 20 hits, a hit every 3 minutes in a playoff game. What the hell's going on with that?
don't know.
And it's not even like they were sharing like the huge control of the shot share, right? It's
No.
not even like they had the puck the whole time.
They didn't.
Yeah, exactly.
They were getting hemmed
Like,
in.
That's what made that
Vancouver
so
was
poorly.
all over
Like,
them.
They didn't have the puck and they weren't hitting anybody.
Right.
So what do you do? If you're not doing that, what are you doing?
You're chasing.
Exactly, and you're going like this
And TV
going like this with
turns.
the sticks
Yes,
and stuff.
That's
Like,
what happened last night, which was a departure from how they played in Game 4.
So that Game 4 is out there. I mean,
They did it.
roll
2
that
days-
thing
2
back in
days ago.
Game 6 and see what ends up happening. So
Shilov's being Aiden Hill, no. One thing that the Canucks have done very well, again, is protect the slot and not allow rebound greasy goals to get by Shilov's, regardless of how good or bad the rebounds are that he's kicking out. And he has come up with that save that you need in key moments, whereas Skinner was not doing that. But Shilov's numbers, let's look at them right now. They're not sexy numbers, especially in this series.
what do you got?
I
Give them
got
to
it
me.
here.
Bring them
I'm
up.
looking. Let's go. Goalies. It's loading. Oh my God. NHL.com media site. Let's go. But no, I don't think he's this year's Aiden Hill.
I don't think he's at that level.
No.
Should have stopped the game winner in Game 4. Could have taken that one to overtime.
Here we go. Shilov's.
But still not bad for a number 3 guy.
Well, yeah.
Which is what
Shilov's in the playoffs, 262 GAA, 907. That's good. A lot of that was the Vancouver series, and then last night was obviously better for him. But going into last night in the series, I'll give you Shilov's numbers through 4 games. He had a 344 goals against average and an 887 save percentage in the 4 games going into yesterday.
Yeah.
Those aren't good.
So he's not stealing this series.
If that
that's
was
what you're trying
Pickard
to
or
say.
Skinner, Oiler fans are looking at that going, that's terrible. That's dog crap.
Well, I mean, the
needs
Oilers
to be better.
Yeah. Well, Pickard gave him a 9-14 last night.
He did.
So I guess we get into that conversation
Oh, we will.
right now.
And I see
Well-
Smitty the Welder's post, and he's not going to like my take.
Was that, okay? I think I saw
see
that
you,
too.
Smitty
I think
the
I saw
welder.
that too. First of all, Shilov's is their number 3. Should the Oilers start their number 3, Tommy?
No. Stop
You
it.
don't think Jack Campbell's
Get
worth
some
a look
help.
here?
Stop it and get some help. Stop it and get some help.
Yeah.
If you even want to entertain that thought,
They're a pretty sick puppy if you're like, what about this, you guys?
You're
Especially
you're
when
an
you've got
idiot
like
if
you've
you
got
think that.
you've got a goalie in Pickard who's done a decent job for you. Like, why in the world would anybody suggest that Jack Campbell would get the net at any point?
if
right
you
now?
want
Like,
clicks and you want to send Oiler fans into a tizzy, that's when you suggest
that would not make a lot of sense, man.
No.
That would not make a lot of sense. All right, so there's 2 different conversations here. Portions of the Oil Stream, of course, brought to you by Popeye's Louisiana Kitchen. What would you do between the pipes? What do you think Knoblauch is going to do between the pipes?
Okay, I'll start with what would I do? I would start Stu Skinner.
You go back to Skinner?
Go back to him. He's supposed to be your guy. He bounces
You either
back
win or
well.
you die on that vine. Like,
This is a marquee moment for him to rise to the occasion. A true test of his mettle, and he could be brilliant. His high end is better than Calvin Pickard's. So I would
I think that's fair.
That's
I mean,
and I'm not I'm not trying to hit a get a base hit here at the bottom of the ninth with 2 out. I'm not trying to touch green. I'm swinging for the fence for the win.
You're looking for a bomb right now.
Yeah. And Calvin Pickard is touching green, getting that base hit, and then the game ending on a strikeout or foul out on the next batter. So that's my rationale on this one. Do I think Stu Skinner starts tomorrow? I have my doubts, and I feel like the safe play is Calvin Pickard.
Wow, I think we're almost opposite. Well, I'll be honest with you. My own opinion on it, I don't know. I honestly don't know.
I get it.
Like, I got some time for going down with the guy who kind of got you there. Like, I'm talking overall in the season with Skinner playing so much.
Gotcha.
Like,
I don't think it's that. It's him having his
where's Matty going?
riot act read to him.
Wannick's just walking out of here.
Responding to it. He's a busy guy.
Yeah, I guess he's a busy guy. Oh, I guess they're
He
probably
needs to
setting
go
up.
get the tent for tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah, they're going to be fan day. Elks tomorrow.
Yeah, Clark Park.
Maddie and Milne will be there. They're going to be our pre and post for the Elks, and they'll be set up down there. So Elks fan day tomorrow. Swing on by. I think, I'm much more confident in what I think Knoblauch will do than what I would do right now. I think he goes Skinner. I think Knoblauch's going to go back to Stuart Skinner. I mean, Pickard played well for you last game. He was fine in the game before, really, too.
Okay. I agree.
You put him in Game 6. Sometimes his play makes me feel a bit nervous. Like, he's a little bit of an unorthodox style goaltender, isn't he? Sometimes he's turned around trying to make saves and stuff.
Like the one that Desharnais pulled off the line yesterday.
Yeah, I get a little bit nervous that the bottom may fall out, but the bottom kind of already fell out on Skinner multiple times in the playoffs. So I don't know what I'd do. I would not want to be Knoblauch in this situation.
What do we think? This is part of the conversation as an aside. As a whole, what do we think of Jacob Markstrom, the goalie?
Inconsistent?
As a whole. He's an all-star caliber goalie.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where this is going, but I like Markstrom.
Okay.
I think I used to overrate Markstrom a little bit, which I no longer do.
Still overrated.
So, yeah.
What is Jacob Markstrom against the Edmonton Oilers? Bad.
Yeah, they torch him.
Could this be the same situation with Stu Skinner and the Canucks?
He hasn't had success against them. But if that's the case, why wouldn't you start Pickard?
I know. That's why I think the safe play is starting Pickard. And if you want to
would
get
go
nuts,
back to
let's
back
get
to
nuts.
Stu.
You go back to Stu. And you don't think that he's of the same situation that Markstrom with the Oilers is.
Oh, man.
It's messed. We're
Well, I guess you don't, we're not in talking long-term picture right now. But it's always long-term picture here. It's just how it is in Edmonton. If they start Pickard and they lose in Game 6, I don't even say it's because of him. It's just they play like they did in Game 5 and they lose in Game 6. Then what's the conversation with Skinner in the offseason? How many times did he get pulled last year in playoffs? 3 or 4?
Three
at least.
Vegas series, right?
Yeah. Well, and then once I think before that. So
yeah, in LA because Campbell
LA
had to come
for
in
sure.
and fluke his way.
Remember he stopped 23 24? It was nuts. So he got
Good
pulled.
on him, but
Skinner got pulled
Not a
4
confident
times, at least 4 times in last year's playoffs. And then in this year's playoffs, he loses his job to Pickard and they don't go back to him. What's the conversation in town? And if he's a good regular season goalie, that's great. But that doesn't mean you-know-whats when this team's supposed to be at a point where they have a goalie that they can count on in the postseason, and you just can't do that with Skinner through his first 2 playoffs.
Okay, and that's fair. That's a fair argument. But the way he lost his job in this series, was it by blowout?
No.
But it was by crucial moments faltering.
Yeah. I mean, he let in some goals that he shouldn't have let in, for sure. I mean, it was a justifiable goaltending switch, I think. I do.
Absolutely. I'm not disagreeing with that.
All right, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. We are going to get to some more of your text messages here in a second, and we'll get to some of those nasty chats. If you're watching over on YouTube, hammer the thumbs up for us, and if you're not yet subscribed to Edmonton Sports Talk, feel free to hit that sub button as well. Tommy, outside of Skinner, and I'll continue the conversation with these texts, but outside of Skinner, any other tweaks you think coming to the lineup?
I'd like to see this. Get Sam Gagner his first ever playoff game with the Oilers.
You do it?
Get Connor Brown out. I don't care that he set up the goal to Janmark yesterday. That's great.
That line was okay.
I appreciate that. Yes, Rip City Step said that was their best line last night. That's more telling on the other lines than anything.
True.
I have no problem taking out Connor Brown for Sam Gagner. Some people might suggest Corey Perry. I don't disagree with that. Perry has not had a particularly great postseason.
You got a couple of options there if you want to switch it up.
However, Connor Brown is not Corey Perry. Corey Perry has won a Stanley Cup. He's won an Olympic gold medal. He's won World Championships, World Cups. The guy has been through it all. I like the potential of what Corey Perry can do in a very important Game 6 compared to what Connor Brown can do. And
even
I
though
would
he doesn't
not
have
even
a point in the
justify
playoffs,
it.
right?
Yeah, I would not even justify it by saying he had a nice pass in Game 5. So I would put in Sam Gagner, and to Sam Gagner's credit, every time he's played, minimal minutes, whatever, he gives you everything.
He finds a way to contribute, man. I'll give Sam that credit at this point, man. Like
I put him in. There are a lot of people suggesting Sam Carrick. I have time for that, absolutely. If his body's good to go and he's not banged up anymore, sure. Because I feel like
he's in and Derek Ryan's out.
Take out Derek Ryan. As better of a skill player as Derek Ryan is compared to Sam Carrick, where are the Oilers lacking punch? Physicality and presence in front of the net. And if you compare Derek Ryan and Sam Gagner and Sam Carrick is better at those two things than Derek Ryan. Also, one other thing. I'm glad I remembered this. I want to bring it up. The Oilers are losing the face-off battle.
Yeah, they are.
They're generally the better face-off team all year long. Every night I'm rattling off the stats post-game. Edmonton wins the face-off battle. Edmonton wins the face-off battle. All series, I've been saying Edmonton loses the face-off battle. That needs to get better, too. Get possession.
And Derek Ryan's supposed to be a guy that's in there.
He's losing. The second goal, the equalizer, Besser, with the Besser shot in Game 4.
Yeah.
Derek Ryan lost the draw. He makes a desperate attempt to try to snag the puck as he's going down. Misses it. Canucks, bing, bang, boom, it's in the back of the net.
Yeah, well, and even prior to that, we were watching the final moments of that up in the booth where we were getting ready to call Game 3 of that Warriors series. Leon lost 2 face-offs as well in the defensive zone.
Yeah.
They lost. It was Leon, Ryan lost 3 consecutive face-offs. And then now they still ended up squeaking that game out with the Bouchard goal late. But
it's not who gets better.
Yeah.
It's everybody damn well better be stronger on the face-off dot.
Let's get to a few of your text messages. This is Bill with 1L. Bill was in today. Bill was in today when you guys were doing Hangout. He's picking up a gift certificate and chatted with Bill. Nice guy. If Skinner is in, I would give him a very short leash.
Sure.
Very short.
Sure.
But how short are we talking? Like, gives up a goal in the first 7 minutes, you yank him?
Depends on how bad the goal is.
Man,
I understand
that's a weird
that.
spot to be in, even if
I
it's
know.
an ultimate
I don't think that
stinker.
would happen.
You're like, I just don't think you can do that, man. Like, Propane Pimp says, in a very important Game 5, Connor Brown completely outplayed Corey Perry.
I get it. I know. I'm not disagreeing with that.
Guys, we can't rely on what Perry can do or what he has done. We played this game all year with Brown. We need a solution now, which I guess would come back around to the Sam Gagner thing.
Put Sam Gagner.
If you man, what world are we living in right now where we're in the second round of the playoffs here in the National Hockey League and we're watching the Oilers and Canucks go head to head and they're facing elimination. And we are asking for Sam Gagner to get into the lineup. When was the last time Sam played?
I'm not asking
wild.
for Sam Gagner to be in the lineup. It's not a pity. It's put him
No,
in
you legitimately thinks it helps. Yeah. But I'm just like, what type of spot?
A gamer.
They're in a tough spot. If people are like, I know everybody loves Sam, but, and I would agree. I bet he gets in and does something.
Put him in. Because you know what? He might do something positive for you. And it's special for the guy. I think the organization owes it to him. do it, and it might pay off. It's a little thing. Hell, he might play 7 minutes and do diddly squat, but at least he played an Oilers playoff game, and if he does diddly squat and they lose, I think that's more of an indictment on the rest of the team too anyway.
All right. Oilers fan 937 says, sure, Bush's turnover was bad, but no one in the media talks about Nurse's conservative/scared play on the game winner. Kind of got caught in no man's land a little bit there,
Okay.
I guess.
There was people bitching about McDavid on the back check. Who was it that didn't tie up in front?
Well, Bouchard had Pettersson in front.
Yeah.
Pettersson got his skate on it.
And how lucky was it that it bounced off of Pettersson's skate? It was like a tennis ball playing street hockey. The way it bounced in, hit the post, and Johnny on the spot, JT Miller bangs it home.
I know that. I know that's lucky, but
Hang on.
Yeah.
People were also complaining about Ekholm changing after 20 seconds. I just wanted to add that in there.
Was that a thing last night? I think
It
I
was
saw
a
something
thing
that
last
Ekholm pop
night.
up too.
Yes.
If we're talking about like the luck of the Canucks and stuff, but Nurse did give them too much time to play the puck in the
Absolutely.
corner, and Connor
Sure.
McDavid was puck watching and
Yes.
not picking up JT Miller.
And why
So,
did
like,
Ekholm
as-
come off after 20 seconds at that exact moment?
Like as lucky as the bounce was,
Yeah.
if Connor McDavid picks up JT Miller when Hyman kind of handed him off to him, then it doesn't matter if it was a lucky bounce or not. Like if Connor McDavid does his job there, we're not talking about it, right? Like so it still comes down. It still
Compounding
comes down to
mistakes.
guys making mistakes, and that's why when people go, "Wow, look how lucky the Canucks are," the bottom line is there was 2 mistakes made. Nurse could have been more aggressive and not given the time in the corner, and Connor McDavid could have picked up the guy who was going to the net. So,
AKA
you know,
his
bitch
guy.
all we want about luckiness. That's 2 critical errors with less than a minute left in the game where your awareness and your aggressiveness has to be at an all-time high.
Correct.
And it just wasn't, right? So, yeah, the Canucks might be getting lucky parts of one way, but the Oilers, like, when you look at this series right now, the Canucks have made it so much harder for the Oilers to play than the Oilers have made it hard for the Canucks to play.
Fair point.
That's how I view it. Like,
Yes.
I think that's been maybe the biggest difference in this series. The Oilers have to earn absolutely everything, and they're paying a physical price because the Canucks are beating on them. And the Canucks, I would think, have less bumps and bruises that have been inflicted on them by the Edmonton Oilers than the other way around. So, but I still think they win. I know it's like that. I still think they win Game 6. I still think you're crazy to say that this series is actually over when we've seen the back and forth between these 2 teams right now.
Yeah.
So now if they have to go out and play McDavid and Draisaitl a buttload in game 6 and they got no juice left in Game 7, well, then we're having the same conversations we were having in the offseason last year.
Absolutely.
Which we probably already are anyway. So
Yeah. Let's wait till it actually happens. They're still playing, and they have a chance tomorrow. I just put a Canucks fan in an 86,000
second time.
second timeout.
Well, what do you do this time?
Oh, just annoyed.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that'll happen sometimes, eh?
But 86,000 seconds.
That's 20. Is that 24 hours?
Yeah, but I just like how they put it in seconds.
Yeah, what's up with
don't
YouTube
know.
in their
Hello.
seconds? Eh?
Hello.
That's kind of weird. All right, that is going to do it for the Oil Stream today. The Oil Stream, as always, presented to you by Boston Pizza. Fuel your fandom with Boston Pizza at all Boston Pizza locations. The Nielson family likes to order in Boston Pizza quite often, actually.
Nice.
And maybe triple play platter coming down the pipeline here at some point for the family.
218 people watching. We're only at 53 likes.
Well, Tommy,
People are down.
as
and
I
out.
said, oh man, this morning, like we hit like 400 likes by the end of the show, which is like the lowest we've had in weeks because everybody's just you're devastated.
Yeah.
I know you're devastated, but like the series isn't over.
Gloom and doom doesn't get you anywhere.
And in the end, there is always next season. So let's
Well, let's not go there
let's see.
yet.
Well, that's why I didn't get to any. Like we got a bunch of text messages and I saw nasty chats this morning and on Oil Stream today about like next season and GMs and this guy leaving and this guy leaving.
Yeah.
We'll get to it during the off season.
Really, can I just one thing? Someone
Yes.
said that they're hearing that Columbus is interested in Ken Holland. Yes, I've heard that too. Yes, there's something to it. We're going to have an update tomorrow from Dave Pagnotta on the GM situation from the Oilers standpoint, and what Kenny Holland might do. Just want to tease.
All right, well,
Hello
there we
Hockey
go.
Tomorrow.
Hello, what do you know without anything else, or just Pignata right now? Or
Right now, just Pignata. I'll get some.
Okay.
It's just me and YouTube Trev. Belsey's in Vegas, much deserved time
What?
off. Yeah.
Nice, congrats, Belsey.
So we're gonna load it up with some guests, and we're gonna have some fun. Be sure to tune in, and then from Hello Hockey, we will go into Fan Day down at Clark Park.
Oh, perfect. Oh, that's nice. So straight from Hello Hockey into Fan Day down at Clark Park tomorrow with the Edmonton Elks.
Yep.
If you want to get out, go down, check out the team, go say hi to Matt and Milne. Who knows? Matty might even put you on. So for all you Elks fans, get on down there, and then pregame show, Bourbon Street, 4:30.
Yes.
Tomorrow, if you want to go join Tommy Colton's going to be coming down. He was texting today. He goes, what time should I get there? I said, 15 minutes before. He's just solo.
Oh,
I
yeah.
said, go on down. You get a spot at the bar at least. And I told him to go for a sweet, sweet water massage. And he's going to do that before too. Yeah, look, man. I'm trying to get that big West Edmonton Mall money on here.
Ooh,
I love the
there's
mall.
a lot of money
I
in
love
there.
the mall, man. I'll whore myself out to the mall. All that's needed, you know.
You could do a Nuge commercial for the mall.
I want to do like a reality TV thing where I live in the mall for like a month.
Oh, that would be awesome.
That would be cool.
And then get depressing after a while.
No, I'd still love it.
Okay.
I'd start going to bingo and stuff. It'd be great. All right, that's going to do it for the oil stream today. Brought to you in part by both Coolbet and Popeye's Louisiana Kitchen, and of course, always presented to you by our wonderful partners over at Boston Pizza. Fuel your fandom with Boston Pizza. Nielsen Show replay coming up on TuneIn and iHeart and at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Hello Hockey, the next program right here tomorrow morning on the YouTube channel. If you're over on YouTube, give us a sub if you have not yet already, as we try to make our wonderful push towards that big 10K.
We're getting there.
That'd be something one day. All right. I think so. What's going to happen is if there's a Game 7 on Monday, we will have shows.
Yes.
If there's not a Game 7 on Monday, we're taking the day off.
Great.
So just be ready for that. I think there's going to be a Game 7. I think we're working Monday, but we'll
shall
see.
see.
Tommy, talk to you later, buddy.
All right. Thanks, Dusty.